Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Groyper Report. Tonight, we have some groundbreaking news to share with you.
Welcome to the Groyper Report. Introducing the most racist men alive. They are shutting it down as we speak. Welcome to the Groyper Report. Sexist. Racist. Phobic this, phobic that. Terrorizing women across the country. Telling them to wear clothes. Saying all women are mid. Minorities fear them. The president has them on speed dial.
Guess what? Your body, my choice.
Brought to you by Frog Aura Maxing. Brought to you by Frog. Giga Chat Central, yes, thank you for asking. They all must go. Welcome to the one and only. Defending the last white men on Earth. AtlasThugged and Josh Vander Nord. This is the Groyper Report.
Hello and welcome in, everybody. This is another episode of the Groyper Report. We have no idea which episode this is anymore. Actually, we're just losing track of it. So we're calling this episode 6 million. Welcome in. Josh said 271K at best. That's fine. Whatever you guys want to call it, we will go with that. But welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the one network not afraid to say Christ is King. I am your host, AtlasThugged, aka White Boy D Voice, aka another racially ambiguous Groyper, and I am joined by my co-host,
Chubby Jared Kushner, a.k.a. White Boy Regular Voice, a.k.a. another racially superior Groyper, Joshua Vandenord. Happy to be with you guys.
That's funny. And yeah, sorry it took a minute to get going. I actually did not have the intro or outro properly allocated. That's on me, actually. Maybe the first time I've ever made a mistake. Oh well.
we went to the Zeb Boykin school of streaming.
Yes, correct. That's where we learned from. And we changed some of the chat stuff over so we can have access to all your guys' chats, typical to what it has been on the Groyper Report. You can see that down in the bottom left corner, as well as also being able to pull up the random Wignat chat whenever we get those. But we should be good to roll. And we're going to be having a bit of a chill day today because, again, the news has been more of the same. You know, it's kind of getting tired, recycled. Who wants to hear about Iran and Israel once again? But I will say, an update on that as we talk about the Iran war, maybe just generally right at the beginning before we move into some of these clips here. It does look and appear to be as if the MOU is on its way to being completely torn to shreds and obliterated. There were more strikes happening between the United States and Iran earlier this morning. At least so far, it was being reported by, I believe, Axios. Memberships are back up. Should have no more issues. W. Thank you for that, Zeb. Let me go ahead and move the featured out of the way a little bit. Or make it smaller at least. I'll put it at the top, actually. The top makes more sense. That actually makes way more sense. We'll do it just like that. Everybody's saying Josh looks so handsome. Yes, round of applause. Josh has been losing a bunch of weight.
Let's go.
W. Yes, major W for Josh Vandenord there. But yes,
I am
go ahead.
looks maxing. I am mogging AtlasThugged.
Yes.
I don't know about that yet. We're getting there. We're getting there, dude. I don't know. I had to mute myself a second there. It kind of scared me a little bit when I said we went to the Zeb Boykin School of Streaming. Literally, as I said Zeb Boykin, he came through the door, and I was like, say his name and he shall appear, dude.
Say his name 3 times, he appears.
I know, funny. Dude. I better not be near any mirrors.
That's been,
yeah.
right. That's been happening with me and Michael Lionheart. So I said it it was 2 streams ago on Kick. Talking about Lionheart, next thing you know, he's like, hey, what's up, guys? He's in the chat. Then it happened earlier today. Smelly Balls is saying something about Michael Lionheart. And then next thing you know, the next comment that rolls in is from Lionheart. He's responding to Smelly. It's people are like that, I guess. You just say their name. Some people are magical. Not me, though. I don't believe in that voodoo stuff. I believe in Jesus Christ. You guys can believe in that voodoo stuff. Smelly says, I was talking shit about him. I didn't remember what you were talking about, which is kind of funny. But good to see you guys in here. We're going to be covering some of the basics. And again, Iran war is getting really, really tired. And I guess we're just kind of waiting to see what this next major development is. I think that's kind of what the tiredness is we're all really waiting for what we know is another probably precipitated, whether it be a false flag or just heading in the direction that it seems to be going already, which is our inability to restrain Israel. So going back to the page on the Iran war, I guess it kind of opens up to this concept of if it continues in this manner and already seeing what people reacted to in the ceasefire agreement for what it was, about a week ago, many people already kind of dismayed, not understanding why the deal is so against American interests, why it seems like we're giving up so much. And again, a lot of that coming from the fact that most people just aren't even getting the full story. They're getting a very pro-American side of the story. They're not getting all of the facts, so it's very confusing to them. Second to that, though, is this idea of, again, if it continues this way, we try to approach negotiations again, is it going to be on a significantly worse leverage element? Are we going to be in a much worse position? Or do the negotiations not even happen? Who knows? And again, so much there that's just a fog of war. You don't really know what to believe. The markets aren't seem to be reacting to too much. But at the same time, there's this expectation that we probably can't maintain this status quo for very long. And there are ways to kind of buy yourself around this. I mean, anybody who's played any kind of more like basic RTS game or strategy game or even paid attention to history, a lot of the times many nations that get desperate in terms of economic times but are wanting to continue their waging of war turn to things like mercenaries and look to actually buy and purchase and facilitate things like that with whatever way they can. Is that the direction we're going? I'm actually unsure. I wouldn't expect it. I mean, not buying mercenaries, but in the same vein of perhaps we start buying weaponry to make up for the fact that we can't reconstitute our own weapon defense systems as fast as we would like to. A lot of different things that could be happening from there. Again, yet to be seen, though. I'm sure we'll see what the next development is on that. But any comment on the Iran war before we go to the first clip?
Yeah, actually, now that you bring it up, the MOU thing. So I don't know about you, but this was kind of my assessment of the situation for a little while, especially after the MOU was really announced and it was like, oh, they actually have come to the table. Iran has come to the table. I was thinking that we know that the economic pressure that this war is causing is directly impacting America. Like, we are hemorrhaging and it's only getting worse. We definitely are the main party that wants out and have no interest in being there. Now, I was thinking because Iran came to the table that obviously they have the upper hand in terms of, desired outcomes. But I was thinking that maybe they actually are suffering a little bit more than we let on, that they are letting on, and they do want the war to end. But now with them, the main sticking point being Lebanon, and I think Nick actually brought this up this past week, it to me, it kind of shows that they're actually doing okay because they are getting all these things. And that is one of those things where they are kind of right when they say that is Israel's battle. That would be
right.
They say what you will. We know that the Jews started it. We know that they, there's more nuance to it than the news without on, but
yeah.
There is a level of like national sovereignty and autonomy there where it's like, can we get Israel to do that? Now, obviously we should, but it is one of those things where it's like they're demanding more than they could ever possibly get because they can. So to me, it's like we are the biggest loser, and I don't see any way out of this unless we surrender.
Yeah. And I mean, one could say if you were looking at just the way the framing was, I mean, it would be considered like a strategic surrender at that. I mean, obviously we're negotiating a ceasefire, we're negotiating peace for the Middle East, in a sense. But at the same time, by America's stated objectives, especially early on in the war, you would clearly say, well, we accomplished none of them. And now the status quo of what the area is actually further back than what it used to be. And so with that, what do you say? I think therein you just got to say, obviously I think America's taken a step back here. We've walked backwards. And again, we had reports of what was that? Zeb Boykin saying it's nuke or nothing. And I've had my thoughts about this too. And I've played this out. I mean, we're talking about a month and a half ago. I was kind of thinking out loud of if it does come to that, right? If it is kindly seen as this escalation ladder. Ultimately, Iran holds the keys over, and we have to move it up to one of the other escalation ladders, which would be returning to assassination strikes, which would be maybe a half step up from where we are right now. Or we go to the next level, which is ground invasion, or a level beyond there, which is going to be nuclear warfare, or at least beginning the threats of nuclear warfare. And again, one of those has already been offered. I don't think too many people read the Truth Social from Trump about the annihilation of an entire society and thought they were going to be more, Tomahawk missiles. That read more closely to an all-out kind of strike to wipe, Iran's, civilization off the surface of the planet. And it's in then so I would just add this before you go. I do think actually it would be more politically expedient for the American people and the current situation of the American people for the president to explain away the use of a nuclear weapon than it would be for hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops to be in the area. And that's something I think is kind of scary, but I do think that people would prefer that less Americans die than more, even if that comes at the cost of a nuclear weapon, or even in the more slighter sense, like a nuclear tipped weapons or radioactive warfare. But again, these things kind of touch upon things that it's like, for one, it's evil, but it's also going out of the bounds of what we've come to understand and expect. I do think you would have to actually really kind of cross some lines to it to get to that point. And again, even inside of there too, not to keep ranting in front of you, Josh, but even inside of that, you also have these kind of presupposed Carg Island strikes. You also have, and Nick talked about this on the stream with Myron as well last night. And so much of this is like very similar to how people talk about the ground invasion, of how it would just become a meat grinder. Well, it's very true and similar of also the strait as well, whereas the ships become basically sitting ducks because of how shallow and narrow the strait is, that getting a bunch of U.S. cruisers and other kind of battleships through the arena makes them sitting targets for the periods they have to go through the tight nooks and crannies. So even with that, it's just like, we continue this path. I think one thing to expect is either America suffers extreme reputational damage in the geopolitical, or two, and maybe both, it will suffer extreme loss of life. And I think neither are acceptable. And both, to me, give a preponderance of an imperative that we have to restrain Israel. We have to find a way out of this. And I would even rather U.S. tax dollars being paid for some shitty MOU than us trying to send more American lives to go die in the Middle East. I think that's kind of where we kind of draw the line there. But that was a lot. Go ahead, Josh.
No, you're for real though. And here's my thing is the nuke thing. I'll be honest, I don't see that happening unless, and I'm going full blown Alex Jones over here, that even Donald Trump himself would coordinate some sort of false flag attack. You know what I mean? Like where, the meme Bush did 9/11 is really there to pad Israel's involvement in 9/11 by just kind of lightly confessing that there's a conspiracy. I wouldn't like the only way I can see a nuke happening is if like Israel does a false flag, which is not out of the ordinary, but like if Donald Trump was kind of complacent in that, and what would it be? Would it be New York? Would it be? It would be, I feel like at this point, it'd have to be somewhere like Picket Fitz, White Town, like Lansing, Michigan or something like that. God forbid. Hopefully not somewhere in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Or Ohio.
Right. Well, I think you might be spot on there with the willingness to stage something like that. I mean, much in the same vein of how we already kind of see that we saw the way that it went with holding Israel to their feet to the fire. Lasted like 3 days before we're getting a report that Trump and Netanyahu have a conversation where supposedly, allegedly, reportedly, Netanyahu convinced Trump that Israel must continue its actions in Lebanon, or at least in the verbiage and rhetoric of self-defense, or their right to defend themselves, or their right to continue security actions. And again, so much of this is just, this language is so bullshit. But it's not a good thought. And
something I was going to say a second ago is I also think that I almost wonder, and maybe you can fill me in because I haven't been paying too close attention. So the last thing I heard about our fleet and our blockade is that it was disbanding. I don't know if it's back in there because, the bombing has resumed, but I almost wonder if back when that happened, because it's clear, I agree with what Nick said, where it's more likely that things would escalate with Iran rather than it escalating with Israel.
Right.
So Trump is now he is backing off his hardline style of negotiating. And I almost wonder if the fleet and the armada breaking up our blockade was like a premature good faith payment to try and get them to capitulate on Lebanon, to say, okay, we agree to everything except Lebanon. Israel can stay in Lebanon. And they said no.
Yeah. I think again, but the one part of this is like Iran has no reason to there's no leverage that America's wielding here. And so Iran really, at least from the perspective of the outsider, what reason does Iran have to stop? What reason does Iran? And again, Iran's getting an expansion out of this. They're basically bolstering Hezbollah, becoming this kind of this deterrent threat. I know that Rubio had kind of negotiated or brokered some kind of deal between Lebanon and Israel, which is also newsworthy for two reasons. One, that didn't seem realistic, but secondarily, this is now Marco Rubio seemingly competing with JD Vance in terms of who's putting their faces on these different kind of signings to be turned into political resume points that build upon your presidential campaign leading into 2028. That's also something to be paying attention to here too. And again, with what's going on right now, perhaps that was just literally complete bullshit and they agreed to Lord knows what, that doesn't matter. But now Rubio gets to say, oh, I was there, I did this is a thing I tried to do. Because again, Rubio having to compete in some way against Vance. And if Vance becomes the face of this deal, then this deal being something that actually works and turns into peace, well, Rubio has to compete with that, months from now when it's Vance who's being held as the person who got peace in the Middle East. And that will come in addition to the fact of all of the other articles where they were saying that he was non-interventionist, Vance didn't want to do that. And it was like, no, that's untrue, but that's what the media has been pushing. And that just simply adds on to that fact and that kind of image most people have of who JD Vance is and who they're going to be voting for.
Well, and to me, I'm just done with talking about JD Vance and Marco Rubio because they are cooked, bro. Unless something happens where there's another stint of left-wing terrorism where another Charlie Kirk gets killed, or if there's just straight up full-blown anti-right terrorism, unless something like that happens, I don't think 28 is salvageable, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So talking about who's going to win the battle between JD Vance and Marco Rubio, they're done, bro. They're both cooked.
So this is what
I'm here for it.
Well, this is one thing that Beardson brought up too, which is perhaps there is a bit of believability in the fact that Vance wouldn't run in 2028, as in Rubio becomes the fall guy. Rubio becomes the front runner for the 2028 nominee, with largely the Republicans knowing that it's almost assured defeat because of everything that's happened since the administration. And if the Iran war is still going on, I mean, you're basically running on the ticket of, do you want 4 more years of this? Something I've been saying that's ultimately going to be a death nail for anybody who tries to run under the GOP if the Iran war continues for as long as it has. And again, the campaigns for president start in 2027 for the most part. And so if the Iran war is ongoing, what that effectively does is Gavin Newsom and everyone else on the left is going to have a free campaign time, because JD Vance and Rubio aren't going to be trying to campaign while there's so many liabilities. They don't want their campaign to be running concurrently with the Iran war, where Vance and Rubio and all these other guys can have their face attached to this terrible thing that happened, because then it becomes a part of their presidential campaign. So it becomes this kind of, it's becoming this overall benefit in many different ways for the left. The same thing would be true of things like the midterms as well too. And that's another thing too, is it's basically also assured that the left is going to be winning and gaining ground from the midterms. If that turns into and generates into a ability where they're putting extreme pressure on the GOP on top of what's happening in the Iran war, in terms of things like the crony corruption that's going on between the Trump family enrichment, between all the different sons, the gambling markets, if there's anything there. Now, I'm surely there is. Obviously, I think the 3.4 billion valuation of the enrichment since they walked into office in 24 is insane. And there would have to be something to that. But also, you looked at other people too. I think Christy Nome was brought up between Myron and Nick last night as well, for the fact that she stepped away not because of they didn't like what she was doing at DHS, but because of the fact that people were picking up to the fact that she was giving out, preferred contracts to these different individuals.
We're cooked.
That's
We're
funny.
cooked.
It
doesn't matter if JD Vance or Marco Rubio is medium rare or well done. They're cooked, bro. It's over.
Yeah.
The GOP and anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I said my part.
Well, we're kind of getting ahead. We're not like, this is the Groyper report, and we're not like watching any Nick clips, but
That's
we are
fine.
referencing
That's
them.
fine. That's fine. Correct me. Where do you want to start? Reset
He
it.
said, well, I was just gonna say, he said this week that like he was talking about how bad the left is. There's now this faction of people. I think he was referencing Beryllium, where it's like, oh, we're leftists now. These minor disagreements we have about like immigration and stuff like that. It's like, no, dude, the left is hell. We do not want these people to win. Just because we want the GOP to lose does not mean we want the left to win. So
Agreed.
It's one of those things where it's like the prophecy is being fulfilled, but fuck, man, the prophecy's being fulfilled. You know what I mean?
Yes. Also, want to say thank you, Zeb, for the super chat. And yes, I should have probably said that earlier too. Looks like the monetization has been turned back on for what seems to be the third time. I forget what time. Off on. Snip, snap, snip, snap. Okay, we're back. We're back now. The membership is operating and should be good to go. Hopefully, as well as the rest of the monetization too. But no, reset me. Where do you want to start at? Nick Clip, this is the Groyper report. We're going to go through different sections of the week. And I even said at the beginning, we'll cover the Rain War really shallowly before we move on. It turned into 25 minutes. So go ahead.
We're chill, dude. We're chillers, bro. We're just hanging out, man.
It's permanent now.
Zeb Boykin says it's permanent now. Blame me if you want. We will. We absolutely will.
Yep, already did.
I always love because, like I said, I've been a Groyper since 2018. I love some of the like callbacks, to the OG days. So let's go to Monday. Nick's origin story. Nick reveals the moment he became a white nationalist.
The origin story.
Yeah.
We love this. Okay, here we go.
Chat a bit ago about my neighborhood being overrun by Indians. Now my suburban town I live in just wasted $405,000 tax dollars on a statue of a Jeet family in the city center. I used to like my neighbors and cook burgers for them. Now they're worshiping what's on the grill.
They're worshiping what's on the grill. That's kind of funny. Thank you for the big super chat. Damn, that sucks, man. Yeah. That hasn't really happened in Chicago, at least not where I live. Here in Berwyn, where I live. No, there's not a lot of Indians. It's all Mexicans out here, Mexicans and blacks. I guess there's a lot of Indians in like up north and out west. Like if you go out by Aurora, I think that's where they are. And I remember when I was in high school, we used to do these like speech team or model UN conferences out west by like Neuqua Valley, and they're all Indians. By like Naperville and Aurora, it was, ugh. That's unironically, can I be so for real? That is what made me a white nationalist. I'm not even joking. Because I sort of had this realization in high school. I'm like, oh, wait, America's going to be minority white. I don't like the way that's going to look. Because the Indians, they'd showed up to the speech team conferences and they don't know how to dress. They'd wear a black suit with a black tie and like a red shirt. Like that's how they would dress. They would wear like a teal shirt. They'd wear like a bright colored, like pink or teal shirt with a black tie or the same color tie as the shirt and a black suit. And he'd say, you look like complete shit. That just looks ridiculous. It was all Indians. I was like, what the fuck is this? What's with all these Indians? And they'll have these stupid fucking names like Sharush and Parush and Ganoush. And it's like, there's something really revolting. This is going to sound really racist, and it is. There's something so revolting about like a group of friends. This is like a phenomenon now in college and high school. There'll be like a group of guy friends, and it'll be like Braden, Kyler, Brody, like, you know, they have all these white names, and then Pranoosh. There'll be like a group of white friends, and they're all wearing their Birkenstocks with their socks on, and they got their shorts on, they got their backward hats. They're like, hey, bro, you should come to the kickback later. It's going to be me, Braden, and this guy, and Pranoosh. And our buddy, Pranoosh, he's so funny. It's like, I want to light myself on fire. I want to light all of you on fire. As a matter of fact, let's just segregate Pranoosh out of the group and light him on fire. Wait a second. I think I just created something from first principles. Wait a second. I think I just kind of invented something conceptually from first principles. But do you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's how it is now. That's how it is. There'll be like a friend group in high school, and it'll be like 4 white guys, a fucking Chinese guy named like Bill, and some Indian guy named like Skanoosh. And they all think that's so fucking normal. They'll all be at the diner, or they'll all be at the football game, and that these guys are just part of the crew. They go to their like cracker suburb in their beautiful new construction home, and it's like, hey, Mom, can I bring some friends over? It's just going to be Braden and Pranoosh. And you're like, what the fuck happened to our country? It's the name thing. The name, it's like, dude, I want to go to a friend group and be like, listen, I want to be in this friend group, but I don't want there to be no fucking Pranoosh in here. You know? I don't want to be in a friend group, but not like, you know what I'm talking about? Am I the only one that feels this way? Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be in a Snapchat group chat or a Facebook Messenger group chat or fucking any group chat where there's some Indian named Skadoosh. That's just going to be okay? LOL, so funny, Skadoosh. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, you know what? That's just a little too much for me. Call me old-fashioned. None of that in the group chat. He can go hang out with the other Indians or something. Go hang out with the other fucking Indians. Aren't there a fucking billion of them? They don't, you know, you don't have enough. They have 1.5 billion Indians over there. They practically got 1 billion over here. You got to invade our friend group? I don't think so. And listen, I mean, Indians, like, I don't hate Indians. I really don't. It's just too much. It's too foreign. It's too foreign. I don't like that. I don't hate them. I'm not one of these people that's like, LOL, poo and Lou. It's funny when Indians die. Like, I'm not one of those people. Some people I know, they love sending these videos of like Indians getting hit by trains and exploding and stuff. I don't think that's funny because I'm not a sick person, but I don't want that to be in the friend group. It's like, yo, what's up? Yo, it's going to be Braden and what's another stupid ass? Well, I should say, I love that name. I mean, I love that. It's a great name. What's another one of those like white names? Skylar, Braden, Kyler, Brody, and Pranoosh. Yeah, no, I don't. No, he's not coming to the cookout.
I mean, it's so true. It's so true. Like,
I loved
good.
They worship what's on the grill. That that was good.
It's real, dude. The other read says, Nick, lying with that take. The train vids are funny. Listen, dude, if I want to get a friend, one of my friends to laugh, dude, no. This, okay, come on, dude. Indians versus Trains 3 is the greatest piece of content I've ever seen in my life, dude. The 3-minute montage of Indians just not capable of not being in the way of a train, dude. It is literally insane. And I have one friend who's like, super, he's much less Christian, white nationalist, much more just pro-Christian. And even he, like, dude, he geeks out over those videos, dude. He's like, dude, he brings it up in Discord all the time. He's like, hey, dude, he'll send me a video of it. And I'm like, I mean, it is pretty funny. I can't lie.
So is Indians versus Trains 3, is it just, so it's a montage of Indians getting hit by trains?
Yeah, dude.
And it shows it?
Yeah. Not grotesquely, but like some of them are just violent in and of themselves. There's one of a guy, he's like holding a selfie. Like it's like a selfie video, and he's like literally standing not in on the tracks, but he's like just to the side of them. and some kind of metal thing comes whipping down,
Yeah.
cracks him in the back of the head. It's just like, but the video ends like as soon as he gets hit. It just like goes on to the next one.
I've seen the one with a guy, he's like sticking his hand out, you know, like you stick your hand out of the car and like do this in the wind, you know, like woo. He's like doing that out of the train, and then they pass like a metal bar, and you see him just get like whipped back, and then like, and he just like looks at the camera like, like I wasn't sure if his arm was gone or if it was just like broken beyond repair.
Probably dislocated at the minimum.
Yeah.
But everybody has a.
I'm getting too old, man. I'm getting too old to see human beings, even if they're stinky ones, getting misted.
Yeah. Well, no, trust me, I don't like seeing the darker side of the stuff. To me, it's just funny because it's like that's a stereotype. Not seeing it, but it's like the fact that there is a literal one of the stereotypes of Indians is that they get hit by trains. You know, it's like black people is like they rob, they loot, they lie, they steal. You know, Asians are good at math. You know, Asians are also typically racist towards black people. Like for Indians, it's like, what's that? It's like the third one down. Have a death wish with trains. Like, what does this even mean? It's like, dude, it's unexplainable, bro. It's like it's just a thing that they do. It's in their culture. Like that's what's funny about it, right? It's like there's like this. It's just like this sticking point to them. Yeah, dude, and whites create civilization, and they also like have zero ability to protect it. It's like that's. I think we talked about this before. It's like every race has their flaw. Some have multiple. It's like this seems to be with white people. It's like they like to build, and then they like, hey Browns, you want it to come inside? Like let's do this experiment for the 10th time in a row and see how it goes this time.
We like to share. That's a problem.
Yeah.
But dude, that reminds me, I got sent to the principal's office when I was in high school. Me and my buddy, we were in Spanish class, and she was showing us a documentary about illegal immigration for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was like following this like illegal immigrant doing a border crossing, and we're in class, and in my head I'm like, why is a cameraman not reporting this guy? Like arrest him or something. But then they did a thing where it's like it shows them riding on top of a train, and it was like, oh, he's no longer in the documentary because he was riding on the top of a train, and they were all sleeping up there, and they went through a tunnel, and it just mopped them off. It just mopped everybody off going on through the tunnel. And like when he said that, like me and my buddy started dying laughing because like it was so unexpected.
Yeah.
In a documentary at a private Christian school, being like, oh, all these illegal immigrants got just Control Alt deleted from the top of this train.
Yeah. That's like disturbing though too. You know, like I couldn't even imagine that. Like you're woken up for like half a second and then it's just you dying.
You just hear.
Yeah, like that's dude. But also at the same time, like I've never even once had the thought or willingness to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go like sleep on this train. Actually, I'm gonna hitch a ride on this train and go sleep here. I actually have really no wish or desire to be on any public transportation. Period. Actually, maybe the most I would go would be like a public trolley ride in the city that you pay $5 for, where you all bike with 10 other white people. You know, it's like that. That's where I kind of draw the line for me. Is like, I don't want anything else beyond there.
In Charleston, South Carolina, they have horse and buggy rides. Dude, horses are so nasty, bro. I don't like being around them. They stink. They like. I'm trying not to be vulgar here, but like when you're on a carriage, if it's a guy or girl horse, you're just seeing the whole package just right there in front of you, and it's like I'm having I'm having a romantic outing. You know, I'm taking a girl out on a horse and buggy ride.
Yeah, no.
There's horse snatch like 5 feet from my head.
See, the only fun one that I've been on is like, have you ever been on like a haunted trail?
Yes.
Like a carriage ride from a haunted trail before?
Yeah, I've been on one like pulled by tractors, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I've been on a couple that were like horse and buggy, like carriages, like going through these like big, big pathways to cornfields, and also like in these different areas, and that's been cool. But like those carriages are like, what do you even describe them as? They're like more like wagons. You don't sit directly
Right.
up behind like the horse, like where the guy is who's steering it or whatever.
Mhm.
Those have been kind of fun. Less chance of smelling shit. But at the same time, I mean, that's what the public transit's becoming. If you're on the metro station, I mean, that's literally, dude. I saw a video, and I can't remember what state it came out of, but it was in the U.S. Dude just pulls his pants down. Some black immigrant pulls his pants down and just starts like shitting on the train. Like, I'm not even joking. He just like, he does the face and everything, dude. He's like literally staring into the camera of the guy who's recording him. Like it's what my daughter does, and she's like not even 2 years old. And it's like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Like you have no shame. Like, no, these people are just gross. But yeah, and that's why I became a white nationalist, because not because of any of that, because I really hate the name Perdouche.
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, what's and maybe you can help me out here, Atlas. What's like a villain in like media that did something really, really bad? Like I'm not talking like Darth Vader where they blow up a planet. I'm talking about like murder. I don't know, like law. We were talking about law-abiding citizen the other day. The guy.
You talking about like a fictional instance of it?
Sure, yeah. Think about like a popular bad guy where they like murdered one person, or like the guy in law-abiding citizen killed a couple people, and like like the guy at the beginning, he like raped and murdered the guy's wife and kid.
Right.
And think about like the worst fictional person you can think of. That's like everyone in the Congo. That's like we think, oh, look how bad this person is, and that's just like the average person in sub-Saharan Africa.
Well, it wouldn't even
man in Haiti.
Well, it wouldn't even be like a villain though, because those people are just like base level evil. It's like it's out of pure, like it's like they are just like unconscionable. You know what I mean? Like villains are like doing it with a plan and like a direction and like for a reason. It's like that's respectable. Like the guy who like is just cannibalizing the dude they just killed in the street. Like I don't know what that even is. That's like it's definitionally like alien. It is a behavior that is so outside of what we consider to be not even just normal, but like a behavior that only exists like not here. Like that, we don't do that here. Right? Like, it's like when you see someone do that, it's like, that's what aliens do. That's what I would expect like a green little person to be doing if I saw it, on Mars.
It's like Jurassic Park. It's like, you're not dealing with a sophisticated criminal mastermind. You're just dealing with something that is just following instinct.
Yeah, it's an animal. Well, it's
just eating another man's penis, cannibalizing each other.
But see, that argument also doesn't work, because then you get all these stupid liberals who are cucked to no end who go, well, see, it's like it's just in their nature. They're like animals. They'll begin to make those kind of arguments. Like they don't know any better. Like we have to, we have to teach them. If only there were more schools in Haiti. It's like, or we could just nuke it from here. Like we could do that too. But again, I think when you bring in like when you start rationalizing it in any kind of sense, it's like, then people want to step in and be like, we can fix it. It's like when you talk about the goth girl who liked the tweet from Nick Fuentes once, and everybody's like, I can fix her. It's like, no, you can't. And she doesn't want to be fixed. She can't be fixed, actually. So it's like, it's actually pointless to try.
Whoever could fix her wouldn't bother.
Yeah, we shouldn't bother. There's always going to be one sad MFer out there who's going to be getting on his hands and knees, and that's just kind of the unfortunate reality. But the Superman clip, that's what I wanted to make sure we did before we moved off of Monday.
Yeah.
Because Clavicular became Superman while he was in France, actually. First he was hated, then he was loved. And there was actually another controversial thing that came out about this. Supposedly people were reporting and then clipping that he had like kissed a trans girl, but like it's actually fake. The girl he kissed was like the actual real girl who was also there with the trans person. And so like he even quoted, I think, one of his clippers and was like, damn, getting backstabbed by my own clippers for money. Or something like that. It was something wild. And so that kind of was a short flash in the pan moment, but go ahead.
So yeah, I want to say this about Clav. Nick, like I could take him or leave him. Like I agree with the Met. You know, he's pushing forward. Like, take care of yourself. You know, maximize your own potential. That kind of stuff is good.
Yeah.
But like Nick's appreciation for him goes beyond my appreciation for him. Like I don't take it as I don't take it to the degree that Nick does.
Right.
After this amount of time, like what's Clav been in the mainstream really for like 6, 7, 8 months? I know what I did there. But he
I'm glad you got it.
He's been in the mainstream for that long. The amount of just crap thrown at him, I'm in full support now. Like, I'm on Clav's side, because how many times have you seen it's like, oh, they got this Australian reporter to mog him. Like, he got mogged by ASU student. He went to court and got mogged by the judge. They're doing everything they can to throw this guy under the bus. He kissed a guy. He kissed a guy dressed as a girl. Like, it's so much. They hate him so much that he must be right. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's how I feel about Clav.
At first they hated. Yeah. I mean, I would say the same thing, but I also look at it in the same vein of like Andrew Tate as well. You know, Andrew Tate does and says a lot of stupid shit, but in the end, it's like, for what he's doing with like the, you know, just like talking shit to women. It's like, it's still overall, it's like, I think Joel Evans said this. It's like, it's just like directionally better. It's like we would at least have wanting our radicals to be pushing towards the right values. I mean, want our radicals pushing towards left values. You know what I mean? So I guess in that sense, but Tix, yeah, I've only saw that, and I think I heard that from Tyler earlier when I was watching his kick stream. But I did see one video. I saw a photo, I think from NorCal Groyper, that had all the different screenshots that showed like, this is the trans girl, and then the girl he kissed was like not that person, and he was showing it because I guess the regular girl had sleeves. I know we're doing, you know, Law and Order analysis on it, but supposedly that's what it is, and I do think there is part of it that people just hate him and they want to see him fail. I'm seeing that from, man, I wish I could tell you right off the rip. Somebody directed me to a channel recently by the name of Bearing, and Bearing has been around for a while. Anybody who knows who that is, definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been on the chain. He's been around for a while. I think he was somebody who was associated with Sam Hyde at one point, if I'm remembering correctly. And the last few of his videos, at least the last 2 or 3, have been about clavicular got nose maw, clavicular, and it's like, you're a little fucking bear on YouTube. Like, I don't get why people start throwing stones of like it's like when your profile picture is like, I don't even know what you look like. Like, then you just open yourself up to stuff like that too. You know, I think the nose job thing for me, I'm still like, I don't like the plastic surgery. I don't think you should have got it in general. I just don't think that you should be modifying yourself like that. Period. Count Dankula. Was it Count Dankula? Interesting. But now I'm seeing like all these other people who are like just slightly to the right or right leaning or center right, all attacking him over the same stuff too. All attacking him. Oh, he got mogged. No, he didn't, for one. And 2, it's like the obsession about it is like, it's curious as well. And I think the part inside of that really is, that like stands above the rest of it, is like the halo effect is real. Be mad about it as much as you effing want. It's fucking real. You know, the look smacking thing is like, it's not a joke. Like, the halo effect is a real thing. And I think people just, they may not like the approach to it. They may not like that it's the peptides and the injections and all that, but the halo effect is real. It is just simple as that. It is an objective reality of the world that we live in. And people who want to push against it and say it doesn't matter, or it doesn't matter as much. I mean, we're living in a society where appearances are pretty much becoming everything. First impressions are becoming everything. In the attention economy, like, that matters. And so it doesn't matter as much as you may not like clavicular. It's like, you better be trying to be looking better. You better be trying to boost your appearance. You better be at least being clean cut, or cleaning up, not being stinky, let alone being fat. But I mean, it just is a simple reality. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's one of the, dude. When you'll meet a 30-year-old man, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, I think that all the time. I say it all the time with the Walmart example. I'm sick and tired of like, Here's the reality. Okay, yeah, I'm in Walmart. It's like, yeah, the Indians stink, dude. Why is there poop in aisle 2? The black people are robbing from Walmart. The chubby Walmart greeter can't catch up to him in time. But why the fuck are all the white dudes looking like sad, pathetic degenerates themselves? You know, looking like dysgenic freaks. Like, I'm going to step into Richard Spencer for a second. Like, it does disgust me. Like, I'm tired of seeing, like, weirdly and oddly shaped, like, did you come out of, like, a Frankenstein movie? Like, bro, you can't just go to the gym. You know, you can't, like, leave your office every so once in a while. And it's like one of two examples. It's either like this kind of like dysgenic, weirdly, oddly shaped. And I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but I don't sit there and just sit on my morals either. I try to sit out there and go and be better every day. And then, or it's like the morbidly obese, like the guy leading from the front while his wife is little, 400 pounds herself, and then the 4 little gremlins that are also 200 pounds. It's like, this isn't okay. So it's like, yeah, I'm disgusted by the brown guy over here, and I'm disgusted by the black guy who won't stop robbing and talking to me. But that's also just disgusting as much too. Like we're better than that. Like take the food out of your mouth hole and do something better with yourself. And I've always thought like that. Because of personal training. Go ahead.
So I haven't shopped at the Walmart here in Florence in a long time because there's a lot of black people in South Carolina. And dude, I went to the Walmart the other day. I thought I was in Arkham Asylum or something. It was like the cast of creatures walking around was astonishing, bro. The cornucopia of smells. Who was the guy that like got in trouble because he said you can smell them at Walmart? You can smell them at Walmart. And I'm not even talking about black people. I'm talking like the white people that were there. It was like, bro, this is
black people are the opposite.
Human zoo.
Black people typically smell really good. Like it's just always like it's like cocoa and shea butter. It's like an extreme amount of it though. But that's preferred to the smell of shit. Like let's just be honest here.
Absolutely. Credit where credit's due, guys. Keep that up. Don't wear tank tops in public, put on a shirt.
Unless you're ripped.
You don't need sunscreen. Yeah. It's hot out, but like, come on, guys.
Yeah. And you know who you are if you're somebody who can wear a tank top in public. Like, let's be real about that. Our own intuition is pretty strong. And so like, a lot of this is also people lying to themselves too about what they can and can't do, how they can and can't appear. And that goes with like, I think, again, maybe this is more of a white person kind of thing, but I think white people just have higher social IQ, social awareness of like what is and isn't socially acceptable. We still have our fair share of people with Asperger's, but I do think that, at least in this first world of America,
we have a shame culture. We have a shame-based culture. You don't want to be, you're courteous to people. Like we don't scream in the middle of Walmart or anything like that. The perfect example, the speakerphone. When we get a phone,
they be on their speakerphone.
Yeah.
All women do is eat hot Cheeto and lie.
Talk to you later. Yeah. The speaker.
Washing their pussy in this.
Yo, white people ain't wash their chicken. What do you mean you don't put down on your chicken?
Have you seen some of those videos, dude?
Yeah.
It's just like the most like nasty, like Dawn soap all over their chicken. We have to play the Tucker clip. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh,
we have to.
Real quick though. I didn't realize this was a thing. Apparently, black people clown white people for using a loofah to wash rather than a cloth.
Wait, what?
Have you never heard this before?
Wait, so you're saying that black people shame white people for using a loofah?
Yes. They use a washcloth the same way we would use a loofah, but they think a loofah is dirtier.
That's just retarded.
And I'm like, I mean, you're washing the unmentionables. It's both nasty, but like, I feel like all the bad stuff would linger more in a washcloth.
Of course it would.
If they're not reusing it?
Well, I just throw that stuff out, when it starts to get beyond the end of its life. The washcloths, I think they want to just like clean and keep reusing. That's kind of really disgusting. Unless you have like a bunch of them and you can like rotate through a lot of them, it's like one use maybe per, once a week or something like that. But that'd be like at the bare minimum.
Go to the Kevin Samuel School of Washing Your Butthole. He was a whole video about that.
R.I.P. Kevin Samuels, by the way. But we have to play the clip. It was requested. It is my favorite clip of all time.
What's good?
Eat hot chip in line, dude. It's on YouTube, so give me a second to pull it up. That's hilarious, dude. I love it. The fact that it's Tucker Carlson saying it, it sells it. But for everyone, this is a lesson 101 in modern day women. Here we go.
Bitches born in the 90s that's under 25 can't cook, can't clean. They don't want to work nothing. Niggas that's 31 and over get in relationships with them and wonder why shit ain't working. That's because all young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
Bro, it's golden, dude. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Like, I love it, dude. I love it so much.
I kind of miss Tucker on Fox News, where like him being the newsman. I don't know, like him being on the news with a nice suit.
Yeah. The bow tie era.
It worked for him more than what's going on now.
Well, what I would say is when Tucker was at Fox, he had the best like 10-minute catch you up to speed of what happened that day. Like his first 10 minutes of almost every single one of his things was like, you knew everything front to back and with like a bit of a spin on top of it too, of like, this is what's happening today. And he'd be like, today will we have this and this. And he'd always open with like 3 or 4 minutes and he'd just be ripping through that. He was good for what he does. Man, it's why he has the following that he has. It's because he's a great speaker. He's a good orator. Probably only second only to NJF.
That's why, like his style, it's really worked out. Oh,
the Tucker Carlson laugh, the aggressive Tucker Carlson laugh. It scares me too. Yeah,
I was like, what the hell just happened? But like him getting kicked off of Fox News and now doing his own thing, it kind of showed that he's a fraud because like when you see him on Fox News, he has that phoniness to him, but you kind of excuse it because you're like, he's on Fox News. Of course he can't share his innermost thoughts about this when he's talking about how they're desexualizing the green M&M or something like that, like,
I forgot that was even a thing till you said that just
right? But then he goes on the podcast and it's just kind of the same thing, but a little less formal. It's like, oh, okay. So he is just totally fake. But that's what I'm saying is I kind of miss 2021 Tucker.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an era for sure. And then he kind of showed his cards. I mean, figured out who he was. And I saw that he had JD Vance on 46 times in a span of what was like a few months, it felt like, or maybe like within a year. Joe Kent was on there about 30 plus times and like the same kind of good time for. No, I'm not playing the Eminem clip. That's funny. This is also a funny message, by the way. I might keep it up the rest of the show. But the first one that we never addressed was the goth girls, and
dude.
Like, of course, like I'm married. Hold on. Yes. Above and away, yes. It's like you have goth girls here, and then it's like your average blonde is like here.
No.
And then everything else is just there somewhere. Looking way down, What are your opinions? Are you have a different opinion? If you do, you're gay.
Yeah,
but go ahead, tell us.
The goth girl thing is so played out. Look, I'm not saying it does nothing. I'm not saying it's not an amplifier, but it's like, here's the problem with the golf girl, dude.
Golf girls are another category.
Golf girl, yeah, I'll take golf girl over goth girl, dude. Those like
No.
I'm done. I'm not saying anything else.
No.
But like
Gay take incoming. Correct. Go
I
ahead.
can't stand any nose. If they have a tattoo of any kind, nose piercing or belly button piercing, they're gone. It is a sign of a retard mind, and maybe that's like I'm too autistic to date anyone in the year of our Lord 2026. It might be the case.
I'm sorry, dude. I can't go there with you. It's like what's the Padme line? You're going down a path I can't follow. Like I'm sorry, dude. like like man. I'm sorry. Like it's just to me, it is like that is the definition of S tier. It's like an attractive goth girl, like pale skin, dark features.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
S tier.
Pale skin, dark hair. I'm there for it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the rest of it. I'm talking
18 piercings down the cheeks.
Out of your damn mind, bro. I'm going up with a taser. I'm going up with a lightning rod and a stud finder.
No,
and
I want
her in the ground.
No, I want the bedazzled brat. I want there to be gemstones protruding out of her eyelids. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, dude.
No, the piercing things I actually kind of agree with you on. I don't care too much for the piercings.
It's like Pulp Fiction. Is she the one with all that shit in her face?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What's an unpopular take on that I have? Because
like, I know, that you have that you like men.
No comment.
That's funny.
I like boys.
That's even worse. That's actually that's somehow worse. Yeah, let's rip through some of these here. So yeah. Josh, go ahead and do that for me.
I want a pasty pale white skin, dark circles around the eyes. I'm there. Where when you think of a goth girl, but remove the like fishnets. Okay, you can leave the fishnets, but you remove. It's mainly the piercings. It's mainly the piercings and the black fingernail polish.
Yeah.
But thick legs and okay, maybe this is a hot take. I like a bag of antlers. Like I like skinny girls, like skin and bones, and that's it, dude. Heck yeah.
See, I have a bunch of my friends are like that too.
And shaved heads. No, I'm not kidding.
No, no. The shaved head is like that's way beyond the pale.
That was a Gavin McInnes reference because that was when I first started watching Gavin McInnes in 2016. He was, because he gets like real nasty with the sex stuff. He was like, "Ooh, I like a girl where when you're hitting it from the back, she has a shaved head. It looks like a guy." What the fuck? What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, no. I mean, dude, the girl could be the most attractive girl on the planet Earth. She has a shaved head, instantly like a 4. Instantly like all the way down, like just dropped. Mm-hmm. The worst thing is like got the hair.
Now, there's some girls that can pull off the like real shorter hair.
Yeah, and it's extremely rare.
Extremely rare, though.
Extremely rare.
And they look better with long hair anyway. But
that's what I said. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But there's a place for it.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite of you. I have a bit of black in me, and like so I like I would go.
I'm looking at AI World Champion says Josh likes him emaciated right from the camp. Yeah, dude. I was like, they can have one tattoo as long as it's on their arm. That's the only tattoo.
You like him out of the camp. I like him off the train. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Before the lice check. Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Well, that's certainly something. Anyways, this is the Groyper report.
On the Groyper report, yeah.
We're gonna play he's literally Superman. All right, we're just playing the clip. We're playing the clip. We're resetting.
It's 9:00 and we're still on Monday.
Yeah, I know. We're playing the clip. I think you guys got
He
the
looks
gist.
So different.
Yeah, well, it's because his nose is all whacked up. I saw somebody who actually like does the like not commenting and saying like, "Oh, he's brutal, it ruined him" or whatever. But they're like somebody who like actually does plastic surgery work, and they're talking about how like they did. It was like something with like they actually lowered a portion of his upper bridge of his nose that was incorrect, and like that's why it looks like the different shape of what it should be. So his nose actually got bigger on the bridge because of something that they did. And I was just like, I was watching how they're explaining it.
He looks, and I guess this would have to be a preference thing, but he looks a little bit more
Feminine.
churchy. I don't know. Yeah, like more. Yeah, I guess
Feminine.
you could say that, but yeah, well, yes, but no. He looks more farm boy and less supermodel, if that makes sense. He looks more like Clark Kent.
Well, I mean,
And he does look like Superman.
so what the work of what was done was it went from like it went from taking like sharp angles and asymmetrical nose to softening the angles, making them soft. I literally almost super chatted more Nick clips and Nick discussion, please. That's funny.
So now they're on to us, Atlas. Our master plan to convert all the Zeb heads to Nick clips. So
That's funny.
girl fishnets and the ideal number of piercings down
Yeah.
the chin.
We were trying to see Zeb. So we got the call, and Zeb said, "Stop playing as many Nick clips on the show. We're losing. We're bleeding support." And so we were like, "Okay, we'll talk about goth girls then." And see, now you guys are picking it up. Okay, I guess we gotta play the Nick clips. But yeah, what was Nick's comment on this? He's literally Superman.
He literally did. And well, I saw the clip of Nick saying he's literally Superman. It's like the movie before actually seeing that clip. And I was like, dude, it's like a 1-to-1 from the movie trailer. Like his expression and everything, the way he was like looking off camera.
Yeah.
One
They
might
hated.
stage, but hey, I'm not Zeb Boykin over here.
And then they hated. Well, since we're already like about an hour into it, let's we should probably hit the hot topics here.
Okay.
And so I'm just looking at these, looking at what you have bolded here. We'll probably
Are you on?
I'm looking through Tuesday. I think we can probably jump to Wednesday or Thursday, forgive me. There was no Wednesday show this week, actually. No Wednesday show from Nick. And then there was no show yesterday because he went on with Fresh and Fit, although we still basically got 2 shows, 2 for 1 in a different format with the collab. I also heard, I don't know if it's been pushed out yet or posted, but supposedly a Tyson Hockley and Nick Fuentes collab is set to drop, I believe, today at some point. That's what I heard from Tyler Russell. I saw the leak of it and it didn't have a date on it. So I don't know if it's dropping today or just expected to be coming out soon. So there is another collab coming out this week as well too. And maybe it is already out, but I didn't see it if it did. Yeah, ever since I've been on Cialis, I've been bricked all the time. Very impossible to think about anything but Josh. But on Tuesday,
What the fuck?
we also had the Matt Nuclear and the Beardson beef that occurred. And that kind of maybe was more so newsworthy of what happened on Tuesday, or from Monday to Tuesday, bleeding into Wednesday. And that was the fact that you have this new hire of the Daily Wire who looks like an acorn, and the memes have been hilarious. And there's really the only one small update to that, which would be the fact that and I saw this from Rhetorically Defective, actually, somebody I've debated before. He was live reacting to a day-old or 2-day-old stream of Matt Nuclear's, kind of going back and forth on some of the stuff that he had said, revisiting some of his older streams, when all of them got pulled. And so it looks like Matt Nuclear has already wiped some content off of the page, off of the channel. As far as I know, it's only been the live streams that have been pulled back. And so it may look like that's the direction he's going to go. I compared this to the way that Andrew Wilson does his Crucible, because all of the live streams, he only keeps few and far between available. The majority of his live streams, he immediately privates and pulls off the moment that they end. So it looks like Matt Nuclear may go this route to avoid being even more thoroughly kind of investigated. And the reason why I would imagine, is because he made a huge mistake when he was on a live stream. I don't remember what he was looking up, but when he was looking up something, what ended up happening was one of his prior Grok conversations in the full URL had appeared in the web. I don't know which Groyper went and did the work, but they went and they typed in that exact address and it gave them direct access to a conversation that Matt Nuclear had with Grok. And not only that, he was able to actually upscroll and see the entirety of all of the contents. And through that, they were able to actually see that Matt Nuclear posted his entire PDF contract, both the memo form and the full contract, to Grok to ask it for information and asking him questions about, should it be expected, should I accept this, et cetera, et cetera. And that also bled into him talking about things like hyping me up. Isn't it great that Ben Shapiro loves me? Very, and really to save you some details, it came across as a very kind of desperate, like young teenager who's developed a kind of sad relationship with AI. And so you have him publishing the details of the contract, which Chief Shumster also pointed out too, that may actually be a breach of the contract, because inside of the contract itself, it is a confidential agreement, meaning like this cannot be viewed by third parties. So there may be an element of there too, but the saddest part is the fact that he's basically begging the AI to hype him up because he's now teaming up with Ben Shapiro. Like, isn't it great that Ben Shapiro sent this text message to me? That was another screen grab that was found, which he had taken a screenshot of a conversation he had via text message with Ben Shapiro. And in there, he's saying, and the AI is like, oh, Ben hearted your message. Ben really doesn't do this for anybody. And it's like Grok like telling him all this, hyping him up as the hype man. And it's just super sad. Ultimately, I think that's been pretty much handled. There wasn't even much of a debate at all when Beardson kind of went on. Beardson tried to keep him in line. The guy, what did it evolve into? He's like spamming a soundboard. He's like not even saying anything back. He's spamming a soundboard constantly. And he just looks like a sad, scared, raped young black kid. And that's kind of what he is. Earlier today, though, he did post another message as well. And that was, he's like unashamedly or unabashedly like defending Israel. Like they're not the bad guys here. That tweet actually started taking off. It had thousands of comments or replies to it, but also thousands of likes. So I think right now it's kind of curious, will they keep him? Will they fire him? Or will they kind of wait till things cool down and then ultimately kind of, pull him out of his contract? I read through his contract. He has a 60-day temporary period. So he's still well inside the temporary period, meaning that the Daily Wire may very well just like quietly hush hush and not give him an extension. Maybe he only lasted the Daily Wire for 60 days. Or they keep him, in the kind of what I was arguing to Beardson, they keep Matt Nuclear because he is, in some way or shape or form, he is an arm of the Daily Wire who is engaging with the Groypers. And so therein, the Daily Wire can say, we are engaging with them, or we are having these conversations, just not from the top brass. It's coming from some random 19-year-old Zionist.
Is he doing a good job, though?
No.
Like, okay, obviously you, me, Beardson, the Groypers, we would say no. But like from Daily Wire's perspective, would his performance justify continuing to work with him?
I mean, like, you mean like in the back and forth he had with Beardson?
Yeah.
No, it was bad. I mean, like, I'm talking just like overall bad. Like, he wasn't handling it well. Like, even like the production value stuff. I wish I had a clip here I'd pull up, but it's hard to tell which one has the hard R on it and which one doesn't. He was like just constantly. He wouldn't even say anything. He kept going back to like, he's playing a violin. He's playing a crying baby. He's playing Hitler and muting people. And that was the thing too. He muted everybody. He kept muting people. And I think muting, for one, is just a sign of like you're unable. Unless the person is like screaming, do you mute? But that wasn't even happening. He just kept muting over and over and over again. He couldn't hold anything. And it was all deflections too. It was about Catholic doctrine. It was going about, is Beardson relevant? None of it was about like the actual issue of you're now pro-Israel. You are helping carry water for the Daily Wire, which was insane. And this is the thing I pointed out too. For those who have seen an overlay of what his show looks like, you may be familiar with this. But in the right-hand corner, which would be right where above where Josh's head is at, he has like a little bulletin board he always has on his streams. It says like the 4 topics of the day. On the day that he actually debated Beardson, the topic that was right above his head, the 4th one on the list, was something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, is Zionism bad? And I kid you not, through the entire thing, that is not addressed. It is about irrelevancy. It's about views. It's about Catholic doctrine. It's about the Vatican II. And it's just like, it takes forever to get there. And it's because he's trying to find all of these smaller pathways to keep the conversation away from the reality of what it is. So you maybe could say he's good on that sense, but it's so easily seen through. It's very easy for at least for me to see through. Now, how much is that seen out for the average person? I don't know. He also has the benefit of being a token black conservative. I mean, like I mean, conservatives in the big tent, in the mainstream, the establishment, they love that shit. They hate a young white, they hate wang halves, but they love black Zionists. And that just simply is the way that it is right now. You are muted, my friend.
I apologize. So, this is obviously racist, but I'm not saying this to be funny. This is genuinely where my mind went. So when I was watching Beardson's debate with him, it was just on a little square on my phone, so I didn't get a great look at it. But it was his face, and his setup had it was like high contrast, medium colored yellows and greens.
Yes.
And so his face with those colors, it reminded me of the DK mountain map of Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
Because, it was like green, yellow, and his face, it kind of looked like Diddy Kong. You know what I mean? That was like the image that was kind of ingrained in my mind. And I'm not even saying that to be racist. I'm just saying that because, like, that's what it reminded me of. It was like a Mario Kart Diddy Kong map.
So do you know, like, what the play on is of what a show is supposed to be?
I remember you talking about this. So it was like Fallout because nuclear.
Yeah.
It was a play on that.
So the show itself, and this is what is owned in perpetuity by the Daily Wire, is The Nuclear Reaction. So that's the name of his show. He goes by Matt Nuclear, which, as far as I understand, is actually not his real name. I do not know what his real name is. So his show, though, is called The Nuclear Reaction, and it's like in the description, I guess, like the gist of it is, in a world, it's like something about like in a world where there are those who are left, but not in the sense of like survivors. It's like capital L left, as in like they're making the political play. It's like he's trying to find those who are left. Does that make sense? Like nuclear reaction, Fallout, survivors, left, capital L, like left wing, and he's trying to bring them to the capital R, right. And like that's like the gist of the show. That's why it has all the yellow. It's because it's meant to be like toxic, hazardous, give you that kind of like old sepia tone, bit of like, it's older, big, archaic. And I think they're also using that as a bit of a way to like also not give him production value, because his isn't anywhere close to anybody else who works for the Daily Wire. And I think even inside of the contract, there's nothing that says or talks about providing any kind of like material assistance towards that end. So if he continues into like season 1, 2, and 3 as what it says in the contract, it's probably going to be just exactly what you're seeing right now. The same kind of green screen background, yellow toned, and all that's owned by the Daily Wire too. So, yeah.
Lame.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, like that pretty much got handled by Beardson. I think Pine Sap was going to go debate him too, but then he decided not to, because I think it's just like the kid's a joke and you don't even know if he's going to show up to his own stream or not.
I saw obviously the comparison, the before and after pictures of him with the haircut and how he looks like an acorn. Did anyone, I didn't see it, but did anyone make the joke or do an edit where like the mouse or whatever it was from Ice Age was like standing on his head or something? That would have been funny if someone did that.
Oh no,
you know what I'm talking about?
Did you not see the edit that somebody made?
No, I did not. But
oh my gosh, we're gonna play it.
They're calling him an acorn. It's like too obvious of a joke not to make.
Let me see if I can find it. Pretty sure it's called Matt Nuclear's origin story. Oh my gosh, here it is. We're gonna play this for all those who haven't seen it. It's an AI edit, so it's like 40 seconds long. But this is Matt Nuclear's origin story. Also good to see Stacking Coins in here. Haven't seen you in a minute.
What's up, dude?
Go to the right screen. Here it is.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
Hello. This is bad. Ow! My brain! My body! Holy Jake Shields.
This is where my life took a turn for the worst.
Well, what do we have here?
Oy vey. We will call this Seed Matt Nuclear. He'll be my token at Daily Wire. Ben and that wishing willow ruined my life.
I think we're all ready for Ben Shapiro to go back home to Israel. Am I right?
You're probably
good.
It's a good edit. Yeah. Good like 40-second edit there. But yeah, and so he's just getting owned. He's getting kind of clobbered. And I will say too, there was an element of this on Monday where he was supposed to go live and then didn't. And I'm gonna imagine that he didn't because they maybe told him not to, or maybe prepped him because it's more than likely he's gonna have to be taking on Beardson or more other Groypers in that side of that instead of his space. But that's also what he is, by the way. It's not like he's a commentator. It's not like he is a editor or a video maker, or he goes out and he investigates like fraud from balloon-headed Somalians or cannibalistic Haitians. It's like he made his cut on his teeth. He made his cut by doing debates. He came in doing Discord debates, as I was reading about it earlier. He came in doing Discord debates with vegans. Like, that's literally where he got to start. And then that turned into him doing it on the TikTok debate stage, doing TikTok live debates. And then that turned into getting noticed by Jubilee, where he went with a Surrounded episode. It was like Angela Hayes, I believe was her name, versus 20 black conservatives. And then he had a good moment or a viral moment about reparations that he kind of owned her on. And that's how he kind of landed at the Daily Wire. So that's kind of been his trajectory. It's always been in the debate format. So, maybe he stays around just because it's expected that it's going to get, down and dirty sometimes. It's blood sports, I guess. But I don't know. I think overall he's kind of probably seems to stick out like a sore thumb with the rest of the Daily Wire. But that is it for Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll move over to Thursday, because Thursday we got a bit of an action. I don't remember where this came from, actually, but Tucker Carlson went on to someone's show. It's a podcast I'm not familiar with at all, but it has a similar makeup of Counterpoints or Redacted or Breaking Point. It's like these center lefts, not even really center right people, but these kind of center left, center libertarians, Israel critical crowd. And Tucker Carlson went on to this podcast. I forget what the question was that he was asked, but whether or not he was asked a question that had the context or not, he gave an answer and gave a position against Nick, and he essentially called Nick fake. He called Nick and was throwing that out there and saying that Nick was fake. Now, one thing I'll add before we play the clip is that Laura Loomer actually has now stepped into the fray and is going at both Tucker and Nick. And the reason that she's doing this, the connecting element, the middle party that connects this, is AF Post and Aiden, the so-called founder of AF Post. Now, the reason being and why they're connected here is because it's long been theorized by many people that AF Post was initially founded and built and designed and structured by Nick. The claim from Laura Loomer is that AF Post was originally ran and operated by Ali Alexander. From there, though, after Alexander's fall from grace, it was Aiden who was then put in charge of AF Post. So Laura Loomer is arguing that Aiden is in the same team as Nick. And what she said, the allegation actually, is that Aiden recently met with Tucker Carlson. For those who may not have followed along, Aiden did post recently a photo of him, it's super excited to meet Tucker Carlson. But the report that Laura Loomer had, reportedly, is that Aiden is actually seeking financial reinforcement from both Tucker Carlson and Peter Thiel to be pro-Vance, pro-Tucker, and pro-Thiel. Otherwise, without that, he's going to be anti-Vance and pro-Groyper. That's the report coming out from Laura Loomer. Now, she's also saying that Nick Fuentes' opposition to JD Vance is part of the song and dance. That Laura Loomer's claim is that they're actually inside of their own ecosystem, drudging up this kind of inner beef about JD Vance. Now, Nick calls bullshit on this entirely, and the clip we're about to play is Nick responding to this bit from Tucker Carlson. Not the Laura Loomer part, but mainly just the Tucker Carlson call out of him being so-called fake. So here's this.
In Jesus' name, no more cap, please. No more lies. I can't for someone like him to say something like that about someone like me, fuck you. I'm fake. Buddy, everything about you, you wear makeup. Everything about you is fake. We all know you were on Retta. That's the other thing. In the same interview, he goes, I would never take those peptides. Really? Then what was going on with your neck 6 months ago? You fucking lie. He lies like he breathes. He has literally no relationship with the truth. And then he's going to call me the liar. Please. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm fake, but that The entity known as JD Vance, yeah, that's real though, right? Hey, Usha. How you doing, Usha? The theologian known as P. Diddy. Yeah, that guy's real. Yeah, that's real. Give me a break. Oh, don't insult our intelligence. The Groyper army, the fucking Groypers are fake. Yeah, but John Donald Bowman Hamill Vance, that's totally real. Okay, sure thing. Sure thing. Can we talk about your dad yet? How long has it been? For crying out loud. CIA's #1 critic, who's in bed with the CIA, doesn't want you to talk about his dad that worked for the CIA. Okay. That's the one conspiracy we're not going to touch today. But please tell me more about, like I said, tell me more about how pandas aren't real. Tell me more about flat Earth and the other fucking nonsense. Anyway, we are going to move on. We are going to get into some actual news. That just drives me absolutely insane because it's just like, why are you why lie? Why are you lying? You want to disagree with me and attack my ideology? Okay, fine. You know, you want to say that I attack women too much? Yeah, fine. Okay, sure thing. Whatever, dude. You married your high school sweetheart. Congrats. You won. What else do you want? Fucking cookie, dude? You know, congrats. You married your high school sweetheart and you had 5 daughters. Whoop-de-doo. Here's your trophy. Say that. Call me fake? Please. Anyway.
And it's just, again, more of the same kind of postulating from Tucker Carlson. And it is kind of insane, you know, and especially putting it into the light of that too. Like all of these different things he's going to have on, from the psychics to like the nuns to, and some of the stuff, you know, like the Nephilim and stuff is like, I'm also like open and, you know, listening to as well from like a biblical perspective. But all of that, you know, the one thing that he's not going to lend an ear to or be open to, and it's very obvious why. It's because he's in bed with them. He has been in bed with them. He's known Peter Thiel for Lord knows how long. Peter Thiel has been grooming JD Vance for well over 10 years now. All of this has been in an attempt, again, to acclimate and build and take power. For what reason, in terms of the Palantir perspective, I think some is kind of known, some is yet to be seen. But there's clearly and very obviously an agenda from Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson also has his hands in a bunch of different pots too. Obviously, the JD Vance entity, but also there's clearly and very, very openly some kind of, maybe the better way to say it is hands are in him from foreign entities, whether it be from Russia or whether it be from the Middle East. I think the full-blown agenda of what Tucker Carlson is and wants is yet to be seen. But again, you know, I agree with Nick here. I mean, the guy's basically been lying his entire life. Most people don't even realize he was a registered Democrat for, I think, 14 years, from 2006 to 2020. You know, so he's not been a Republican his entire life. He is a bit of a chameleon. And, you know, people really like, you know, this is the reason why history matters, is the reason why having a fuller context in the previous 7 days matters, and keeping these things charted and mapped give you a better kind of perception of who these people really are.
Yeah, he was a registered Democrat till 2020.
It was like 2006 to 2020.
Tucker Carlson, that's crazy.
Yeah, I can pull it up while you respond.
I believe you. I believe you. But yeah, that it is funny. It is telling. I don't really have much more to add to it because it is what it is. This guy will talk about anything other than the guy who contracts and builds software for the CIA that names his companies after the bad guy stuff from the bad shit from Lord of the Rings. To put it in perspective, you would know because you're a Lord of the Rings fan, but like that'd be like if you named your company like Death Star, or you know, if you were a Star Wars fan, it'd be like Star Destroyer, Death Star, Obelisk, Infinity Gauntlet. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just like,
well, you know what the Palantir is, right?
It is a seeing. It's like a crystal ball.
Yeah, it's like a seeing stone.
It's like a seeing stone, but the bad guy Sauron has the other one. So he basically, In the movies, they're bad because they corrupt people.
Exactly.
The information that they give you corrupts you.
Comes with influence. Right.
Yes.
And well, it's also like more than that. I think the way that it kind of plays out in the movie is that he can also see you. You can't like you can see him and he can see you through the stone. So it's like you think that you can see things in that stone.
Window.
Yeah, but it's a window. Like, it works both ways. People can see back too. I think that's the moment in the movie too. It's Pippin, I think, does it because it's calling to him in his sleep. Everyone else is like sleeping, and it's like calling to him, and he can't resist it. So like he takes the cloth off the orb, and he looks into it. But when Sauron notices him and looks back, it freaks him out, and he like falls away, and the stone goes clattering like across the stone. And then that's when Gandalf takes him alone because now he's got to go with him. Like now you're marked. Like now he knows you. Now he can see you. He's aware of you. You know, and then that starts the Pippin the Fool. And you probably seen that moment where he's singing and the guy's eating like the tomato. Yeah. Love the movies.
I did like. I know. So you probably hated the shows. Was it Rings of Power?
I'm not watching dog shit.
You've never seen them?
No.
I have seen.
I've seen scenes, and that's enough for me. It was her throwing 5 armed guards into a prison cell and locking it. I was like, I'm never watching this shit. No one even asked me to. It will lower my opinion of you if you ask me to watch the show.
I'm trying to. Okay, what did you think of The Hobbit though?
The Hobbit was okay. It was okay.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but to me, it's like the scene, especially the scene with the barrels.
Yeah,
that was like Toontown, like how that, like they were just effortlessly defeating all the orcs and stuff.
Yeah,
which it was a little bit more fun. I didn't mind that, but I did like in the show they show it. It's like because one of the guys from Numenor, he uses the Seeing Stone, the Palantir, but it shows it from his perspective, and he's like holding it with his hands, and the vision he gets from it, it's like the stone itself cracks, but the cracks like extend into reality itself.
Interesting.
It was a very cool visual effect. I'll have to try and find the scene for you. It was neat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Lord of the Rings is just goated. You know, I'm sorry. I'm always going to hold that opinion. The original trilogy.
Avatar.
Yeah. The original trilogy.
I like the lore more than the movies. The movies, they are a little bit boring, but there's nuggets of just like greatness in them.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say nuggets. That like the movies are good, but like my buddy, he's like, we got to watch the extended edition, and I'm like, oh, okay. What did I miss? Nothing, dude. It's just establishing shots of New Zealand.
The one that's worth it the most to watch of the extended editions is the second movie, and the extended part in there, it actually it concludes Saruman. So you know how you go from like 2 to 3, and there's like really no conclusion on Saruman. Well, in the extended edition in 2, there is, and there's like this crazy scene of like the King of Rohan, Theoden, and Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli. I think Aragorn's there too. And Saruman and the Wormtongue are like stuck and trapped on the very top of the tower that is surrounded by water at this point. Because you remember the Ents came in and like destroyed it. And I'm trying to remember what exactly happens. But I think eventually, Legolas lets loose an arrow and it sticks Wormtongue. And then Saruman, I think that's the reason why they cut it from the series, because Saruman dies when he falls. No, it's something to that effect. Wormtongue either stabs Saruman or they both get hit with an arrow, something to that effect. But Saruman falls from the tower, and you just see his body go, and he hits on the water mill right next to the water. So it's like a super it's like a smack. I would imagine that's probably why they kept it out of the movies, because I would imagine maybe that would have raised their parental warning.
It was pretty rough. This is probably, I know we're getting off of the Groyper report, but hey, Nick Fuentes hates Lord of the Rings, so we have to redeem it a little bit here on Groyper report. This might be a hot take that you're probably going to hate this. The second movie is actually my least favorite of the original trilogy. Now, I'll admit the Battle of Helm's Deep is easily the best battle in the whole series.
Yeah.
But the entire movie leading up to that, it's a slog, dude.
Man.
It's a slog.
Very hateful opinions, dude. I'm offended. Words are violence. Words are violence. I'm being attacked. Help me. I'm being
All
attacked.
of the stuff.
I'm being hate crimed.
The king who was possessed and worm tongue and all that. So boring, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was better in the books.
Yeah. Well, because it's
But on
gutted,
screen-
right? It's gutted. You don't see much of the relationships between Gondor and Rohan outside of that small bit, so it doesn't mean much, anyways. But yeah, moving on to
Fellowship was
Friday.
my favorite.
Fellowship's good. I like them all.
I love Fellowship.
On Friday, we're on to the final section here, which is the episode that happened between Myron Gaines on the Fresh and Fit podcast, which was a major W because the low IQ, worthless aspect of the show, I think they call him Fresh EO, whatever that short black retarded guy is, he wasn't there, made it so much better. His name's like Walter Weeks too, by the way. The guy's terrible. So it was just like they had this opening portion. It started at 8, I do believe. It was like 8 or 8:30. So they had this like long form, just Myron, no girls with Nick that lasted about, was it 2 hours, 2.5 hours? And they basically just only talked about geopolitics. Basically, it was like very, very broadly about geopolitics. It was about Iran, about Israel, about Cuba. And here's the thing I would say too. Did it not strike everyone else, if those who watched it, that like Myron was like either starstruck or extremely nervous? Like he could not talk to save his life on that opening portion. I fell asleep before the second one started, but that opening one was like, bro, it was like brutal. I was just sitting there thinking like, and you could see the reactions of Nick occasionally because he kept catching himself saying nonsense. And so he'd back it up and say, well, let me say this. And he would just reset entirely. And I'm like, dude, don't you stream all the time and talk about this all the time? And you can't have a coherent conversation about this stuff? So, that from a go ahead.
I picked up on that too, actually. And what I think is, cause like you were talking about that with Beardson yesterday or on Friday, which was yesterday, where the whatever podcast and Fresh and Fit, that like, let's get a bunch of retarded whores on here.
Yeah.
It's so done. You know what I mean? And I like Myron, but I think he's trying, he sees the way the wind is blowing and it's Nick Fuentes. And I think he was, because remember they had a beef going for a while. I think it was, I kind of took it as him trying to cozy back up to Nick as best he could. And he was a little bit, he wasn't very outcome independent. So he was, because all of the questions he had, they were so rushed. He was rushing the point. He didn't let anything sit. I think you're right. He was nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. When it was more of an interview than it was a conversation. It was more like just Myron repeatedly asking Nick questions and then Nick giving answers to those questions. Not to say that's bad by any means. My kind of thought process was like, I don't even think Nick would have accepted had they not been on good terms. I would have thought they would have, for Nick to even accept or Myron to even think about offering him to come over. Would that not have been like, would they not have maybe already squashed the beef at that point? Like to me, I almost picked up less of a sense of like, he was maybe like nervous. I picked up more of a sense that I think that Myron is actually intellectually intimidated by Nick. And especially because this is also Myron's wheelhouse. Myron runs not just Fresh and Fit, but Myron does all this other stuff where he talks about Iran and Israel and the Jewish problem. And I think maybe part of it is like Myron's trying to do his best to not be seen or viewed as like one of these low IQ anti-Israel people. But here's the reality, like,
could be.
He might very well actually be inside of that description. And this is not me trying to take shots at Myron. But if you were asking me from that interview, it was like there is a clear disparity between the level of knowledge that Nick possesses on this topic and what Myron does. And not even me being, this is going to not sound like a little arrogant, but I was just sitting there thinking after doing the Beardson interview, I was going like, I could be running this better. Like, holy shit, like I could easily be asking more questions and have more supplemental energy and information than this. But it was like the fact that he would ask the question, Nick would give a response, and Myron would just be like, just, yeah. And the way like, and then, like how they, and like, and then sometimes they do this and then they're not with us, and like they're against that. And it's a different, just like what you said. And like, it was nothing. it was like saying literally nothing, and he did it like 100 times that episode. Craig is saying that Nick said 2 months ago that he's good with Myron. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously they squashed the beef, or else he wouldn't be there.
Correct.
But I do remember that was going on for a while, because Nick will have these things. As much as I hate to say it, he'll probably smooth things over with Sneeko. But he has these spats with people that last for a couple weeks, and then they smooth over. Right. I just remember that Myron's was going on a while. And it's interesting because I've met Myron in person twice here in South Carolina. And him in person with like me and like just not famous people that he knows, he's super like aloof, and he's just kind of the biggest name in the room. You know what I mean? And he acts like it. The script just kind of flipped with Nick. And now that you actually mention it, because I'm thinking back to his interview that he did on Sam Hyde's show.
Yeah.
And like, I like Myron, and I think he is a smart guy, but a lot of his talking points, they come across very rehearsed, in this, like, not in the sense that he rehearses them, but it's like he's not adding to it. It's like,
right,
same joke over and over again. Like I was watching his bit with the girls, and when Fresh, or the black one, didn't show up, he's like, oh, he's black, he doesn't work. It's like, it's the same thing. And even the clips I see of him is like, and then Iran did this, and then Israel did this. It's like the same energy. It's kind of the same talking point, just with the new and updated information.
What it kind of struck me is like everything he had was like he was just reading back a line that Nick said from his show. Exactly what you were saying. Like there was nothing else. He wasn't adding his opinion. There was no further critical thought. There was no even like pushback or like, maybe, well, what about this thing that you said here? Like, do you think it could go? Like any kind of like supplemental energy or information, which is entirely a 180 from how Tucker Carlson does his interviews, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like Tucker Carlson has an interview with somebody, and Tucker Carlson's like, oh yeah, well, what about this? And he can push it because he also has his own understanding of the issue that he can then add and then direct to things, take it to and make it more personalized rather than being so kind of general, a base of information.
Well, and there is something to be said about like, and I know how faggy it sounds. Gay it sounds. But
whoa.
But like there is,
we just got monetized, everyone. Yay, hey.
Both members, I apologize that you're not getting your money's worth, but there is an art form to interviewing, and like for example, I think like when you and Beardson go on, for a lot of people, it's like you have to know when you're doing the interviewing, you have to know when to talk and when not to. And I think like with someone like Beardson, the more conversational interview, it flows well. And I think when you have a guest like Nick on, it pays to get the information out of him, but to be conversational about it.
Agreed.
Like he gives the informed opinion on his show, but like especially with Alex Jones, he's asked very specific questions and given room to interject, and they converse. With Myron, it was very like a reporter interviewing someone rather than what Myron does, which is a conversation,
Right.
Which I know we just
one,
said,
but I think to your point though, to be able to have a conversation with Nick, I think does require that you have to be able to be on that level. You need to have an understanding, at least that's close to that, to be able to respond. So think about it in the opposite, like it would have almost been more entertaining had the person been hostile to what Nick was saying or oppositional, because then there would have been more conversation rather than Myron asking question. It's like, imagine this. It'd be like somebody reading the transcript of the show and being like, well, on your show yesterday, you said this. Yes. Do you want me to repeat it or like expand on it? Like, and then it's like, next question. And on your show then you also said this. Yes. So it was just like, what it felt like was like, Myron was basically having Nick recycle things that he had been saying recently about recent topics that kind of really went nowhere. But to move on to some of the stuff that actually happened on there, there's a couple of things I guess we could look at. They did talk about like the Democrat strategy, which again I think points to the same thing I'm saying here, which is Myron basically asking Nick to recycle it. Not Myron giving his own take on it, but Myron basically saying, "Oh yeah, Nick, the floor is yours. Nick, the floor is yours." But there's a couple things here. Maybe the one that would be the most important to play out of here is Nick talking about how he would deal with Israel if he were president. I think that maybe is the one that had the most kind of substance to it. And here that is. And for example, like I would have much rather have heard like Tyler Russell and Nick having a conversation back and forth, or Beardson and Nick having a conversation back and forth, than I would want to hear Myron recycle. And one thing I did notice too, because I was watching it on the kick stream, is that it was almost like Myron just like wasn't even himself until they were off of YouTube. And he immediately is like, you know, the bomba clap, the soundboard's coming on, here come the hard R's, you know, all the slurs. And it's like that, maybe that's more of Myron's thing, is being the bombastic person, like putting on the KKK thing, donning the white hood, jumping up and down, you know, shouting at Jews. It doesn't, but again, how much substance is that and how productive is that at the end of the day? Not to say it's not like an ally, not helpful in some sense, but overall, there's nothing really to build off of. It's just, it is a kind of gesture element of this. But here's the clip of Nick talking about what he would do if he were president of the United States and how he would handle Israel.
You know what? Let me ask this. How would you rule in Israel if you were the president of the United States? How would you deal with them? Let's say you got sworn in tomorrow. What would Nick Fuentes do to deal with the issues of the Middle East and bring some type of stabilization there?
Well, the first thing you need is regime change in Israel. I mean, you know, look, Israel's an open society, and so I think you would actually need American Jews to get on the team with America and exert pressure in the other direction. Because here's the problem with Israel. Israel's a nuclear state. That, at the end of the day, that's it. That is what defines whole reality. They got 200 warheads. And so here's what I mean. In a conventional sense, how would you constrain Israel? You would put pressure on them, military pressure. And we're already doing it. We're talking about selling F-35s to Turkey, which Israel hates because Israel's threatened by Turkey.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is,
Naftali Bennett talked about like war with them and shit.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And
they're never going to stop, dude. They're never going to. The Pakistan, Turkey, but
right? Yeah, they could tolerate no rivals. So, I mean, in a conventional sense, that is what you might do: is you would strengthen the hand of their rivals to create balance. This is something they don't want, you know, so you have a carrot and stick approach to Israel. Problem is, Israel has nuclear bombs, and Israel is like a very erratic state. So they could very quickly destabilize the situation. People talk about Samson option. I think that's overstated, you know, this idea they're going to nuke the whole world. But, you know, would they use a tactical nuclear bomb against one of their enemies? I wouldn't put it past them. If they think that they're completely isolated, what would they have to lose?
Yeah.
If they're diplomatically, politically isolated, you know, they would go against every international convention. Well, everyone hates them anyway. So you could see a scenario where that happens.
International law anyway.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, they exert pressure on the United States. Also, politically, it's more subtle, you know, because they control the power centers here. They got juice. And I say juice meaning like power, but also Jews in L.A. and New York and D.C. They got ammo here. So no president's going to want to go against them just because of the domestic situation. So the president would kind of just need like this wartime footing. Like we're getting ready to confront Israel. And what happens when you confront an enemy is you got to clean up. You know, you got to eliminate the corruption in America. You got to target the disloyal fifth column here that's going to be a problem. You got to prepare for a tactical nuke going off. You got to talk to their adversaries that you're going to might need to balance against them. And then you're going to need to talk to the people in their country, see how you can destabilize or try to influence their political situation there. You would really just need like this full spectrum approach. We need to be literally on a war footing with this country to try to push back in the other direction and basically just assert control over them for the first time ever.
Would you, because I'm under the premise, I want to get your opinion on this too. I look at it like a lot of the issues in the Middle East literally stem down to the Palestine question, which Israel has been trying to avoid for a very long time. Netanyahu sabotaged the Oslo Accords, etc. And that's why the Middle East has the issues that they have. If you solve that, whether it's a one-state or two-state solution, you know, that would, I think would solve a lot of the problems, because then now you defang Hezbollah, why they exist, Iran, the acts of resistance in general. It's all really because the Palestine situation. If you're able to assimilate them, bring them in, and give them some type of sovereignty, well, that I think is the beginning of like maybe bringing down the first domino in some type of peace treaty. But he's obviously been trying to get around it with the Abraham Accords. What are your thoughts on like how would you solve and deal with that issue, if at all, if you were in the president?
Well, at this point, I think it's just not going to happen. Yeah. I think that Israel will never now tolerate the existence of a Palestinian state
Agreed.
after, because the
I think
security.
one state's the only way at this point, but they'll never do that too, because it's like
no,
they'll overpopulate too much.
What's more, people don't even realize when Trump recognized Israel's sovereignty over Jerusalem, that was kind of the beginning of the end, because it's like that was
Heights,
also
Golan Heights too,
and the Golan Heights as well. You know, but the West Bank, it's like Israel is creating settlements that are just dividing up the West Bank, so it's never going to be a coherent whole. They took Jerusalem. That's really what Al-Aqsa flood was about, which is what kicked the whole thing off, is Israel asserting control over the temple and over the whole city. So I think those people, they're going to get pushed out of Gaza eventually. Israel's going to assert control over the West Bank, maybe push those people into Jordan, or just try to choke them out gradually. These settlements are going to strangle all the different Palestinian settlements. And so I think that's just not going to happen. And you're right. Every question runs through that, which is to say, how do we get Saudi Arabia in the Abraham Accords? You need a Palestinian state. How do you get the U.S. out of the Middle East? You need Saudi Arabia and Israel to normalize relations. You need an Abraham alliance to balance Iran. In the absence of that, what do you do about Iran? You got to do regime change. It's like, so everything's contingent on everything else. And yeah, so I think the opportunity's been blown. Israel's never leaving the Golan. Israel's never leaving southern Lebanon. And fundamentally, that's a security thing. Syria can't fight Israel. They can't, because they don't have control over the whole country. Israel destroyed their military, 15 years of civil war. Same thing with Lebanon. They cannot repel or resist Israel. They don't have the power. Only Hezbollah does. So, you know, those are the
They're
types
gonna
of things.
definitely kill Jolani too at some point.
Yeah. If he doesn't
not now
comply.
while Trump's in, but I think once Trump's out, Israel's gonna get rid of him.
If he
too.
succeeds, you know,
Yeah.
if he demonstrates autonomy, if he consolidates the country, then yeah, they'll probably take him out, because they don't want Syria to be unified.
Hell no.
So what I would say is that's obviously probably a clear insight to how the majority of that went, which was Nick talking and Myron saying yeah and offering basically nothing to all the points that were there. See that people are saying that Nick is live with Myron right now, and we can go check that out here in a second. We only really have 12 minutes anyways for the end of the show. There was one other element though that did happen that's noteworthy, I think, to an element or to a degree. It does revolve around another e-girl. But on the panel set to be airing with them last night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time was Fishback's ex by the name of Francesca. And Francesca was supposedly kicked off before the show even started by Nick. So Nick said, hey, we can't do this. Like, I don't want that. I don't want you to be here. So they did kick her off. While we do have that clip, I think the more important one to play to show you how insane this woman is what she posted earlier today. And so we'll go ahead and play that clip, actually, and we'll check and see what the live stream is all about with Myron and Nick. I'm going to go ahead and grab that here. It was very disturbing.
I thought that was crazy that, like, apparently, I don't know if it was intentional, because Myron didn't know who she was. So she somehow got onto the panel. Nick recognized her and was like, no, that's Fishback's ex. We're not doing this. And Myron was just like, okay, we're getting her out of here. We're shutting it down. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is it. Do I have it here? Is this the right one? Yeah, it's so disturbing, dude. It's so crazy. That was her second time on the show. I didn't know that. Oh, I know she was on the first time. I don't remember who she was on with. She might have just been one of the girls on the panel. But yeah, here's this video. I'm probably not going to play the whole thing, but just because it's cringe, it's hard to get through. But here's the opening portion of it.
That was so hot. That was so hot that you just kicked me off of Fresh and Fit. I mean, wow. The fact that Nick Fuentes is so passionate about Francesca that he feels the need to kick me off of Fresh and Fit because you couldn't even stand to look at my beautiful face near you, because you knew by the end of Fresh and Fit I would be Francesca Fuentes. I would be able to keep FF like we all desired. I'm sitting there slow clapping Nikki as he walks into the studio and he goes, you! And I was so close. He was going to say Francesca. Next time, Nikki, say my name. I'll be waiting on you. I'll be waiting for it. He goes, you, James Fishback's ex, you need to leave. And I was like, no, I'm here because I'm Fishback's ex. Like, I love you, and I'm campaigning for Fishback, as we all know. I mean, hello, Fishback's hot ex calling on Ron DeSantis to fix the election corruption within Florida governor's race.
So she's psychotic. This is why Never e-girls.
You can't.
Not even once. What'd you say?
You can't fake that. That like
You can't fake crazy.
no, that was not, even if that was like an act. No, dude, that she's nuts.
It's coming from somewhere.
Fish, what were you doing? I mean, we know what he was thinking, but what were you thinking, man?
Yeah. Gee, probably a freak in more ways than one.
Rides like a rattlesnake.
Are they live on YouTube? Because if they're not live on YouTube, I think it will threaten the channel if I try to check in on them live right now. I'll go check. I'm gonna go look right now. I'll see if they are. They typically they're only live on Kick. Okay, so maybe we're gonna avoid that because I'm telling you, I'm not even joking you. The moment they switched over to Kick last night, dude, it was immediate. Myron dropped, I think, three
Sudanese in-bomb.
3 Richard Spencers in a row.
So here's something that came up. I just remembered this. Nick said he was beefing with Richard Jewell. Do you know what this is about? Richard Jewell. Now, here's what I want to know is, did he mean the guy who played Richard Jewell in the movie or the real Richard Jewell? Which is, there was a bomb at some sporting event and Richard Jewell was the guy who like found the bomb and reported it. He was a security guard there, but they tried to pin it on him.
No, I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe we can find a clip of this.
See, like I said, it just kind of popped up into my head. But
how do I spell Jewel? Regular, like just Jewel.
X.com.
Like Jew, E-L.
Yeah, E-L, I think 2 L's. Richard.
Oh, you are right. It is 2 L's, isn't it?
Jewell. Is he on Twitter or is it the actor?
I'm not seeing any clips of it popping up.
Oh well.
I mean, that'd be news to me. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me though, either way.
He brought it up in the context of like all the shout outs he's been getting. Like Charlie Sheen knew who he was. Richard Jewell knew who he was. Chet Hanks knew who he was.
Yes. This was from the beginning of May. I found the exchange you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Let me put it on screen. Do I have one? Is this going to work if I do this one? Hopefully your audio is not going to be doubled up on this one. Who knows though? But it was this exchange. I don't think your audio is coming through on this one. Yeah, it's the actor Paul Walter Hauser. It was just like the short back and forth they had. And it was Nick responding to him, loved you and Richard Jewell, the movie. So it's the actor from there. And it was just like the back and forth they had because he's racist or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yay, man. I like that guy. And he's like a fat white dude. It's so disappointing when like the lowest common denominator of white people is like liberal. You know, they're like, ew, you're racist. It's like, oh, dude, you should be the most racist. You know, you should,
right. Yeah.
Why don't you have more hate in your heart, please?
Yeah, but that's the same thing. I mean, that's another element too. I think I was talking with you earlier about this? But seeing like there's like this new wave of like these women who are like not like they're calling out men for being cucked for being like anti-racist. So did you see that YouTube back and forth? I think the guy's like name's like Angry Ginger or something like that. And he's at one of these World Cup games and he's like yelling down to the guy in front of him who apparently made a racist comment. And then is like bitching and moaning and like is demanding that security come and get him out. Security, I don't think actually got the guy out because they're like, what the hell are you bothering us for? What's crazy though is so many of the comments to that thing was a bunch of women saying like, this guy is so cucked, I hate men. But she's saying that towards the liberal guy who's crying racism. And so I reposted one of the ones that I saw, and I'm like, if women were more outspoken about this, you know how much that would help. I don't know if it would heal the world, but it would definitely help if women who thought that way would let it be known. They see some liberal coming out of his way with this gay, nose piercing, and is like, "You can't be racist to Somalian." And a woman's like, "Dude, are you gay, homosexual?" That's the proper response from a woman that reinforces the idea back to the man of like, "Oh yeah, women don't like gay, weak, effeminate garbage," right?
Now, my evidence is very anecdotal, but every 10 I've ever spoken to was already racist.
They have to be.
I mean, like now they've never been
survival
like
technique.
full blown anti, you know what I mean, like low IQ, but they say things like Indians are so icky, and I just don't like black guys. They're so gross. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Have you seen some of these recent Caleb Hammer episodes?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's like the girls are more racist than the guys.
But that's the thing is pretty girls can get away with that. They literally have not had to face any consequences their entire life. So as soon as the thought enters their head, they don't even think about, you know what I mean? It doesn't even register that they might say something wrong. They're like, "What's wrong with you?"
Well, they're just talking from their experience. It's like, who do they think, who they probably get harassed by the most, right?
Indian guys. That's exactly who.
Right. Exactly.
And black dudes. But
but you are right. They can get away with it. Why? Why, everyone? Halo effect, attractiveness, looks maxing,
that would be really funny though if you saw a super liberal dude who would crash out at you for being racist, but with no hesitation crashing out on a beach blonde 10 for being racist. You know what I mean? That would be kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like he has to fight the brainwashing. It's like, what wins out, the white knight or the anti-racist, right? Is it the critical theory, Ibram Kennedy, or is it the inner Jew, the woman on a pedestal, white knight feminism? That is kind of funny. I think ultimately, overall,
an autistic liberal, like an autistic liberal guy crashing out on a beach blonde.
I'm sure it's happened before. Well,
I'm sure it has.
And the reality is it doesn't. The reason why I think you don't see much of that is because it's more than likely that the girl who may say something like that probably has other girls in her friend group who are super libs, who are probably 6s and 7s, who would gang up on her were she to be more outspoken about certain kind of ideas or ideologies.
I just found the Myron and Nick stream on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, go to Myron Gaines X. Someone says El Bongino.
He is.
Because Pam Bondi is, and then the other thing about the Epstein files, why it kind
of
are
right here.
And I was saying this forever. The FBI only has a segment of the files. Epstein had a criminal case that was run by the FBI, but he also we know he was an intel asset for a foreign country. So the CIA is going to have a file, the DEI is going to have a file.
Well, I would say that's a perfect handoff. We kind of got here at the end of the show. They're live right now. So yeah, if you are a true-blooded American, you know where to go. You know who to listen to. If you are anything but, you're lesser than, you're inferior in any type of way, you will probably watch something else. That has been the Groyper Report, episode 6 million, brought to you by AtlasThugged and
Josh Vandernoord.
And I think I kind of said everything I wanted to get out. Is there anything else you wanted to bring attention to before we sign off?
Nah, pretty dull week, to be honest. There's just not much going on and therefore not much to talk about. So, but I think we covered it all.
Yeah, definitely. And because the memberships are back, expect us to do member call-ins next week. We will be planning for that, to do the member call-ins again on the show to give you guys value for your memberships here at NAV. We might be the only show operating on NAV nowadays, but me and Josh, we will carry the flame. We are Charlie Kirk.
He's Charlie, I'm Kirk, and this has been the Groyper Report.
That's funny. Dude, Andrew Corvette, like, he should play a young Captain Kirk in Star Trek. Every time I see Andrew Corvette, I just think Captain Kirk from Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah, like that's the vibe I get.
But he's like brown.
What?
Andrew Corvette? He's kind of...
He's brown.
Oh. Okay, I kind of see it now. I kind of see it. Certain lightings, he's brown. He's Jewish.
I hate when I do that face. I look like Sam Hyde. I noticed that I think me and him have very similar similar hair. Similar facial hair. And he says, bros, more Nick clips and Nick discussion, please. I'm working on Saturdays now, and this is the last time I can tune in live for a while. Yeah, definitely. Definitely should. Make sure you can tune into other stuff too as well. All stuff's available on replay as well. I'm sure that if you're subscribed to NAV, you have plenty of Zeb Boykin to listen to. And Foul Ball's tomorrow. Don't forget about that. Foul Ball Productions, as far as I understand, Right Wing Pulse is tomorrow. It is the less Groyper, more Wignat show. You guys will love it. It's all about revolution, violence, and no, just kidding. Foul Ball also thinks that you guys need to calm down. So does Arval. But that is it for the show. And thanks everybody. Crisis King, as always, came to deportation, so we'll settle for impeachments, impeach the entire administration, and Lord willing, we will one day get our country back. It's been real. Catch you guys next time on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, take care.
Get up and get out. Get out.
Just kidding. That's not the right one. This one's the right one.
Where do you stand politically? Give us your political ideology.
Okay, I can say anything I want.
Yeah, bro. Say yeah. Yeah.
Rumble. I don't know, the day-to-day stuff, I'm like, yeah, more bullshit. Another white girl got stabbed to death? Of course she did. What do you expect? For my politics, I just watch America First with Nick Fuentes.
Okay.
I consider myself a Groyper. Sometimes I just wait to hear Nick's take to make sure I have the right take before I make videos, you know? So, yeah, I just go with what Nick says. I just defer all my political opinions to Nick Fuentes at this point. I'm America First. I wish that we had white Christian men running the country. It's unbelievable to me that we have a government that has a policy other than America First. How does that make any sense? We pay taxes, like, use our taxes to benefit the country that we live in.